Look, man, God moves mountains, and I'm not just saying that, just to say that. Like he really moves mountains. He can really do things for you in your life that you think aren't possible. You think that literally can't happen, like God can do it. That mountain in your life, like it's not too big for God. That anxiety in your life, that problem that might be going on in your life, that hard time, or the hard days that you've been experiencing, they're never too hard for God. The anxiety is never too much for God. The pain is never too much for God. Like there's things in your life that might feel like they're impossible to get out of. There's things in your life that they, might feel like you can't shake them, you can't break them. For me, a big thing this year was lust. I made a video about, what was it now, 3-4 months ago, where I was just talking about my struggles with lust. And ever since that day, ever since, I got closer to God and I turned to God with everything that I have, like that has been something that I've grown out of. That's the chains that God has broken me from. I've been free from lust for like 3-4 months now. Every single day, like there hasn't been an instance where I let the temptation get to me. There hasn't been an instance where I fell back into lust. Like I've been free from that, and that's all thanks to God. That was a mountain in my life that I never thought was possible to get out of. That was some chains that I never thought I was able to break. So the things that you may think are impossible to get out of, the things that you may think that you can't grow out of, whether it be challenges, whether it be fears, any circumstances, like, bro, I promise you it's not too big for God. It's not something that we can fix on our own, but it's something that God can fix in our life. It's something that God can change in our life, whether it be financial struggles, whether it be broken relationships, whether it be anxiety, whether it be illness, personal battles, pain, like whatever it may be, bro. I'm telling you, God can help you grow from it. God can break those chains from you. God, he doesn't ask us to try to move them by ourselves. He doesn't ask us to try to fight these battles by ourselves or break these chains by ourselves. He asks us to believe, that he can. He asks us to come to him and run to him when times get tough, and even when times are good. Like we still got to continue to run to God every single day. Every single day. I talked about this before. Like if there's something in your life, that you've been struggling with, I'm gonna use the example of lust. A way that I kind of like took it to God and got out of that and broke those chains were just replacing the temptations, replacing the thoughts and the actions that come with lust with God. Every time I had that temptation, or every time I had that thought, I prayed, I read the Bible, I talked to God, I grew my relationship with God in those times. So replace those feelings, replace those temptations with God, and I promise you, like, you're going to start to feel a shift in those things. You're going to start to feel a shift in your life. Sometimes God moves the mountain and sometimes he gives you the strength to climb that mountain. I'm going to say that again. Sometimes God is going to move the mountain completely, but sometimes he's also going to give you the strength and the drive and the grace and the courage to climb that mountain. He gives you the platform. He gives you the blueprint. You just got to execute. He brings you things in and out of your life. He gives you signs, but it's about what you're going to do with it. How are you going to attack this? How are you going to go about this? Just have the faith, bro. Just have faith. Faith as small as a mustard seed that God can move in your life, because you can't. Like, there's nothing too big for God. There's nothing in your life that God, can't bring you out of. There's nothing, literally nothing that he can't bring you out of. I don't care what it is. I don't care what the situation is, what the problems may be or the challenges may be. Like, nothing is too big for God. Like, there's nothing that he can't do. God's power is not limited to any situation. God's power is everything. He can literally do anything in this world as long as you trust him, as long as you have that faith in him. Like, bro, put your full faith in God. Put your full trust in God. I don't care what the situation is, whether it be a job, whether it be a relationship, whether it just be life in general. Like, if you're praying for something, you're praying for, something to move in your life, or you're praying for something to change in your life, you gotta have faith. You can't just pray for it and then try to control everything. You can't just pray for it and try to force things. Pray for it, let it go. let it go and let God move. Put your faith into God, put your trust into God. I feel like that's something that I've, grown a lot within this year is my faith, is my trust. Like I've told y'all before, I've been a person that's tried to control everything. I've been a person that's tried to force a lot of things in my life. And at the point I'm in now, the season I'm in now in my life, it's just like whatever happens, happens. At the end of the day, like that's out of my control. I've done everything that I can. I put all my effort that I can. I've been intentional with everything that I've done. And if something doesn't work out, then it's just not meant to be. God's protecting me from something bigger. Like I always say, God is never going to work against you. He's never going to work against you. He might put you through some tough times. He might put you through some hard times or some tough seasons, but that's for you to become stronger. That's for you to grow. That's for you to learn different things in life that he wants you to learn. He's never going to work against you. So that's just something that I've been, or something that's been bringing me peace, is just trusting God with everything that he's doing. Just having faith in God in everything that he's doing. Like I pray for something. Yes, I pray for a lot of things, but I also have faith that God is gonna make that happen. Like I'm not gonna force that thing. I'm not gonna try to control that thing. I'm gonna give it to God. I'm gonna bring it to God, put it at his feet, and I'm just gonna let him move. I'm gonna let him work. So like I said at the beginning of the video, God can move mountains, bro. Whether it be anxiety, whether it be literally anything. I say anxiety because that's something that I've been, trying to grow from in life right now. It is anxiety and confidence, all that stuff. But just have faith, bro. Like trust God, bro, because he can do the unthinkable. He can do the things that you think are impossible. God can do it. God can move in your life. God can change that thing in your life. All you got to do is go to him. Go to him, go pray, go talk to God, get in the word, surrender your control, trust God with the outcome. That's basically what I was talking about earlier, just surrendering everything. I don't care what it is, bro. Like surrender your own control. Surrender you trying to force things. Just let God move, let God work. He hears your prayers, bro, even when it feels like, or it may seem like nothing's happening, no progress is being made. I promise you, God is working behind the scenes. You may not be able to see that right now. You may not be able to feel that right now. But that thing you've been praying for, bro, that door you've been praying to open, the opportunity you've been praying for, the relationship, whatever it may be, God is working behind the scenes. And he's going to bless you with that and bring that into your life, when he feels the time is right. So just surrender your control over everything, bro. Like do the things that you can do, control the things that you can control, and let God, do the rest. Let God move. Let God move. I'm gonna say that a lot. Just let God move, let God work. He's gonna show you why he's God, why he can move mountains. So whatever that mountain may be in your life, whatever that big feat may be in your life, go pray about it. Go pray about it. Go pray about it, because prayer works all the time. Like I said, it may not seem like it's working right now. It may not seem like no progress is being made right now, but I promise you, God is working. God is working. So just surrender all your control, bro. Surrender that mountain in your life. Surrender it. Stop trying to fight it by yourself. Stop trying to win that battle by yourself, because your mountain is not bigger than God. Nothing's bigger than God. So just trust him. Pray about it, talk to him about it, and trust him, because he can still move that mountain in your life. He can still break those chains from whatever's holding you back or whatever's holding you down right now. I promise you. So go talk to God about it, bro. Go pray about it. Go build that relationship with him. Surrender everything that you got to him, and just trust him through everything. Have faith in him through everything. Have the faith of a mustard seed. And I promise you, he's going to move that mountain and, break those chains off of you in your life, of whatever's holding you back, whatever's holding you down, whatever you feel like is hindering you. He's going to move it. I promise. But that'll be all for this video, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. If you like this video, go hit that sub button. We're with 600 subs. Appreciate y'all. I love y'all. And I'll see y'all in the next one.